A place where every answer leads to another question, and every step forward feels like it's pulling you deeper into something you can never escape. From Season 4, Episode 8 is not just another continuation. It feels like the moment everything starts to break open. The trailer doesn't just tease danger, it suggests consequences, confusion, and decisions that could change everything we thought we understood about the town. After the chaos of the previous events, Boyd is no longer acting like a man making plans. He is acting like a man carrying pressure that is slowly crushing him. His focus is clear, but his confidence is shaken. The mission involving the caves and what lies beneath is no longer just a strategy. It has become a moral burden. Every choice now comes with a cost, and Boyd is fully aware that one wrong move could mean more deaths. That fear is shaping his thinking. He wants things done properly, not rushed, because rushing has already proven deadly. The monsters are no longer unknown threats. They are proven killers who cannot be underestimated. And that changes everything. At the same time, the tension in the town is not limited to the underground danger. Something unstable is building on the surface as well. Gunshots appear in the trailer, but nothing is clear yet. This uncertainty is what makes it more dangerous than an actual explanation. In this world, even a single sound can signal multiple disasters at once. It could be panic, it could be hallucination, or it could be someone losing control under pressure. Henry becomes one of the main points of suspicion because his mental state has been slowly weakening. His connection with disturbing visions and manipulated perception raises a serious concern. What he sees may not be real, but his reactions absolutely are. And that is what makes him unpredictable. Meanwhile, another disturbing development unfolds around Colony House. A violent act is implied, and the atmosphere suggests something far from ordinary conflict. There is a sense of ritual-like tension, as if even death in this place has started to lose meaning. The handling of a body, the decision to burn it, and the lack of space for proper burial all point to a community that is running out of both physical and emotional capacity. They are no longer just surviving attacks from outside, they are struggling with what survival is turning them into. But the most unsettling part is not just what is happening, it is how calmly people are beginning to accept it. Actions that once would have caused panic are now treated as procedure. This shift shows how deeply the town is affecting everyone mentally. Fear is no longer explosive, it is becoming normal. And when fear becomes normal, judgment starts to fade. At the edge of all this chaos, there is something even more disturbing. Influence. Certain characters are no longer acting only on their own thoughts. Their decisions feel guided, pressured, or shaped by something unseen. Whether it is hallucination, manipulation, or something more intelligent controlling events from behind the scenes, the result is the same. People are not fully in control of themselves anymore. And that is what makes the situation dangerous in a way physical threats alone cannot explain. By the end of this part of the trailer breakdown, one thing becomes clear. The town is no longer just a place people are trapped in. It is becoming something that reacts, adapts, and pushes back against any attempt to understand it. And as Boyd tries to hold everything together, the cracks are starting to spread faster than he can repair them. The trailer shifts into something far more personal and far more disturbing when Fatima steps into the center of the conversation. This is no longer just about survival outside in the town. It is about what is happening inside the people who live there. Fatima's claim changes the entire emotional weight of the situation. She doesn't say she saw something from a distance. She says it felt like she was there. That detail alone breaks the normal understanding of how perception works in this world. Boyd immediately reacts because he understands the danger of this kind of statement. If Fatima is not just observing events but experiencing them directly, then the rules of distance, safety, and reality itself are no longer reliable. The town has already shown that it can influence minds, but this suggests something deeper, a shared experience that crosses physical space. That raises a terrifying possibility. Events in this place might not be isolated. They might be connected through something invisible, something that links people together whether they want it or not. Fatima's connection to Smiley becomes the emotional center of this mystery. Her past involvement with the creature is no longer just a traumatic memory. It now feels like a permanent mark. The idea that she gave birth to something tied to the monsters is not treated like symbolism anymore. It feels like a real bridge between human and inhuman. And that bridge may still be active. Whether she understands it or not, she may be carrying a connection that allows her to see things others cannot. This is where the tone of the trailer becomes more unsettling. The cave system, which was already dangerous, now feels like it is more than just a physical location. It may be a source or a center point where different forces meet. The group's attempt to retrieve something from there is no longer just a mission for answers. It is starting to look like they're stepping into a system they do not understand. A system that may respond to them. The idea of protection also takes a darker turn. The strange presence that has been called the golem is suggested to have some influence over events, but not in a straightforward way. Instead of acting like a guardian in a clear sense, it may be shaping what Fatima perceives, filtering reality in a way that protects her, but also isolates her. Protection in this world does not necessarily mean safety. It may mean control, and control always comes with a cost. Ellis's reaction adds another layer of uncertainty. His request for Fatima to show what she experienced highlights a growing gap between belief and understanding. Even among people who have lived through the same horrors, there is still a divide in how they process reality. Ellis is not necessarily asking for proof in a logical sense. He is searching for something tangible in a situation that is becoming less and less physical. That desperation shows how badly the group wants clarity, even when clarity may not exist. At the same time, there is an undercurrent of fear that Fatima's connection could make her a target. Anything that can perceive or influence Smiley, or what Smiley represents, becomes dangerous the moment it is understood. In this world, knowledge is not power, it is exposure. The more someone understands, the more visible they become to whatever is controlling the town. And that is what makes Fatima's role so important in this episode. She is not just witnessing something unusual. She may be becoming part of a network that connects the living, the dead, and whatever exists beneath the town. Whether this connection is helping the group or slowly pulling them deeper into danger is still unclear. But one thing is certain. What Fatima is experiencing is not isolated, and it is not ending anytime soon. The final part of the trailer shifts the focus towards something quieter on the surface, but far more unsettling underneath. Ethan and Victor's conversation is not just about survival skills, it is about the fear of being left behind. When Ethan asks to be taught how to survive alone, it is not coming from curiosity. It comes from a belief that separation is not a possibility, but an expectation. That mindset alone shows how deeply the town has reshaped his thinking. Children in normal circumstances look for safety in presence of others. In this place, they begin preparing for absence. Victor's response carries the weight of experience. He has lived through cycles that others can barely comprehend, and his understanding of the town is built on loss, repetition, and memory that never fully settles. When he engages with Ethan, it is not just instruction, it is preparation for a reality he does not want to admit out loud. His knowledge suggests a pattern. Arrivals are always followed by events, and events are always followed by consequences. The implication is subtle but powerful. Survival here is never permanent, only temporary delay. At the same time, Victor's awareness of cycles hints at something even more tragic. He may not just be teaching Ethan how to survive. He may also be preparing him for the possibility that survival does not lead anywhere good. The town does not simply trap people physically, it traps them in repeating patterns. And those patterns seem to erase hope over time, replacing it with acceptance of inevitable loss. Jade enters the narrative with a completely different emotional tone. His frustration is not rooted in fear, but in conviction. He believes there is a reason no one has escaped, and that reason may not be external, it may be internal. People may not have escaped because they were not willing to make the necessary sacrifices or decisions. This shifts the mystery from pure horror into psychological territory. The town may not only be a place of monsters, but also a place that tests human limits, forcing impossible choices that most people cannot survive emotionally. This idea creates division within the group. When belief in escape becomes tied to willingness to do extreme things, disagreement is inevitable. Some will see Jade's perspective as truth, others as dangerous thinking. That tension alone can break groups apart faster than any external threat. In a place like this, unity is rare and fracture is common. Meanwhile, Henry's storyline introduces a different kind of breakdown. His perception of reality is weakening, and the boundary between waking life and imagined escape is becoming thinner. The idea that death might be a way out has already appeared in this universe before, and Henry's mental state makes him vulnerable to that belief. If someone begins to think that waking up elsewhere is possible, then their actions become unpredictable. They are no longer reacting to the world, they are trying to escape it through any means necessary. This is where manipulation becomes most dangerous. Whether through hallucinations, internal trauma, or external influence, Henry's mind is being pushed toward a conclusion that may not be real. And in this world, believing something false can still produce very real consequences. His instability adds another layer of risk to an already fragile situation. The final moments of the trailer bring everything into sharper focus. A ringing phone, unexplained reactions, and sudden emotional shifts suggest that communication between different points in time or perception may be continuing. Whether this is technology failing, time interference, or something more unnatural is still unclear. But it reinforces one idea: nothing in this place is isolated. Every event seems connected to something larger, something still unfolding. As the trailer closes, the atmosphere is no longer just tense. It feels like a threshold. The characters are not just reacting to events anymore, they are being guided toward them. Each decision, each vision, each moment of doubt is pushing everything closer to a breaking point. And with only a short distance left before the finale, it becomes clear that this episode is not just continuing the story. It is tightening it, narrowing every possible outcome until only the most dangerous paths remain. By the end of the trailer, it becomes clear that from Season 4 Episode 8 is not just moving the story forward, it is compressing everything into one tightening spiral. Every character is now dealing with consequences that are no longer separate. Boyd's leadership, Fatima's strange connection, Victor's warnings, Ethan's fear of being alone, Jade's growing frustration, and Henry's unstable mind are all pulling toward the same center point, a situation that feels increasingly impossible to control. What makes this moment different from earlier episodes is not just the danger, but the awareness of it. The characters are no longer confused about whether something is wrong. They now know something is deeply wrong, but they do not know how to fix it. That shift changes everything. Fear becomes sharper when it is no longer based on uncertainty, but on recognition. Boyd's struggle is especially important here. He is no longer just trying to protect people from the monsters. He is trying to prevent the group from collapsing under the weight of their own decisions. Leadership in this place is not about strength anymore. It is about managing damage that never stops spreading. And every choice he makes now risks creating a new problem somewhere else. Fatima's situation continues to feel like a turning point. Whatever connection she has, it is no longer passive. It is active, unstable, and possibly growing stronger. If her experiences are truly tied to Smiley or the deeper system of the town, then she may be one of the most important pieces in the entire mystery, whether she wants that role or not. But importance in this place is never safe. It always comes with exposure. Victor and Ethan represent something quieter, but equally tragic: the passing of knowledge in a place where knowledge does not guarantee survival. Victor knows too much, and Ethan is just beginning to understand enough to be afraid. That combination suggests a cycle continuing rather than ending. One generation prepares the next, not for escape, but for endurance. Jade's perspective pushes the story into a more dangerous direction mentally. If escape requires extreme decisions, then morality itself becomes unstable. People stop asking what is right and start asking what is necessary. That kind of thinking has already broken others in the town before, and it could easily do the same again. Henry's deteriorating perception adds a final layer of instability. If reality can be questioned, then every action becomes uncertain. A person who cannot trust their own senses is easy to manipulate, whether by internal fear or external influence. And in a place like this, that is exactly the kind of vulnerability that gets exploited. As the trailer ends, the feeling is not just anticipation, It is compression. Everything is tightening towards something unavoidable. The mysteries are no longer spreading outward. They are converging. And when everything finally meets at the center, the result will not be clarity. It will be escalation. Episode 8 is shaping up to be the point where the story stops expanding and starts collapsing inward, forcing every character closer to decisions they may not be ready to make, and consequences they cannot undo.